The stars were beautiful that night. Princess Lyra pressed her small face against the cold window of the royal ship. She was only 8 years old, but she had already seen more of the galaxy than most people would see in their whole lives. Her skin was pale blue, like all people, and her large silver eyes reflected the distant stars like mirrors. "Your Highness, please come away from the window," said Bora, her caretaker. Bora was an older woman with kind eyes and a gentle voice. She had taken care of Lyra since she was a baby. "But the stars are so pretty tonight," Lyra said. She did not want to move. This was her first time traveling without her mother, Queen Vela, and she was trying to be brave. The journey was supposed to be simple. They were going to visit the system for a peace meeting. Her mother had said it was too dangerous for the queen to go, so she sent Lyra with a small fleet of ships instead. "Your mother would want you to rest," Bora said softly. "We still have 2 more days before we reach." Lyra sighed and turned away from the window. She was about to walk to her bed when the whole ship shook. The lights flickered. Bora grabbed Lyra and held her tight. "What was that?" Lyra asked. Her voice was small and scared. Before Bora could answer, alarms started screaming. Red lights flashed everywhere. The ship shook again, harder this time. Lyra could hear explosions somewhere far away. Captain's voice came through the speakers. "We are under attack. All hands to battle stations. Protect the princess." Lyra's heart beat fast. She had never been in a real battle before. She had only read about them in her study books. Bora picked her up and started running down the hallway. Guards in silver armor ran past them, heading toward the front of the ship. "Where are we going?" Lyra asked. "To the escape pods," Bora said. Her voice was shaking. "We need to get you to safety." They turned a corner and stopped. 3 strange aliens stood in front of them. They were tall and ugly, with skin and black eyes. They wore dirty armor and carried big guns. Lyra had never seen aliens like them before. "Well, well," one of them said with a terrible smile. "Look what we found, the little princess." Bora pushed Lyra behind her. "Stay back. She is under the protection of Queen Vela. If you harm her, the whole empire will hunt you down." The aliens laughed. It was a cruel sound. "The empire," one said. "By the time they find out what happened, we will be far away. Slavers pay good money for royal children." Slavers. Lyra knew that word. They were bad people who captured others and sold them like objects. Her mother had told her about them. She had said they were the worst kind of criminals in the galaxy. "Run, Lyra," Bora shouted. She pushed the princess and jumped at the aliens. "Run." Lyra ran. Tears fell from her eyes as she heard Bora scream behind her. She ran as fast as her small legs could carry her. The ship was shaking and burning around her. She could hear fighting everywhere. The guards were losing. She found a small storage room and hid inside. She covered her mouth with her hands so no one could hear her crying. Through the walls, she could hear the terrible sounds of battle. Then slowly, the sound stopped. The ship became quiet, too quiet. The door to the storage room opened. Lyra screamed, but a rough hand covered her mouth. One of the ugly aliens looked down at her with greedy eyes. "Found you," he said. Everything went dark after that. When Lyra woke up, she was in a cage. The cage was small and dirty. Other aliens were in cages near her. Some were crying, some were just staring at nothing. They all looked broken and sad. Lyra touched her neck. Her royal necklace was gone. Her beautiful dress was torn. She was no longer Princess Lyra. She was just another prisoner. Far away in the great palace of the Queen Vela sat on her throne. She was tall and beautiful, with deep blue skin and eyes like liquid silver. She was known as the Queen in history, but right now she was not thinking about wisdom. She was thinking about her daughter. "My queen," said Admiral, kneeling before her. His face was pale. He did not want to say the next words. "We have received news from the route." Queen Vela's heart stopped. "Speak," she commanded. "The royal fleet was attacked," said. His voice broke. "All ships were destroyed. We found wreckage and bodies, but we did not find the princess." "Then she is alive," Vila said quickly. "She must be alive." My queen looked up with tears in his eyes. "The attackers were slavers, the Red Fang group. They leave no survivors if the princess was taken. The chances of finding her are—" "Do not finish that sentence," Vila said. Her voice was cold as ice. "My daughter is alive, I can feel it. I am her mother. Find her. Search every corner of this galaxy. Spend whatever it costs. Use every ship we have, but find my daughter." "Yes," my queen said. He stood up and left quickly. When she was alone, Queen Vila finally let her tears fall. She walked to the window and looked at the stars. Somewhere out there, her little girl was scared and alone. Somewhere out there, her baby was calling for her. "I will find you, Lyra," she whispered to the stars. "Mama will find you, I promise." But days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. The search parties found nothing. The slavers had vanished like smoke. The galaxy was too big and the criminals knew how to hide. Hope began to die. The advisors started talking about funerals. They said the queen needed to accept the truth. They said she needed to be strong for her people. They said a queen could not spend forever looking for a ghost. But Vila refused. She would not give up. She could not give up, because somewhere in her heart she knew her daughter was still alive. She just needed someone to find her. She did not know that someone already had. And that someone was human. Sargent was tired. He had been flying alone for 3 weeks now. His small ship, the Iron Sparrow, was old and slow. The paint was coming off and the engine made strange noises. But it was his ship and he loved it. Was a human soldier. He was 32 years old with short black hair and a face that had seen too many battles. There was a scar on his left cheek from a fight long ago. His eyes were dark brown and always looked a little sad. He had been a soldier for 10 years. He had seen friends die. He had killed enemies. War had taken everything soft from him and left only hard edges. Right now he was on a simple mission. The United Human Fleet had sent him to check the outer rim of known space. There were reports of slaver ships in the area. His job was to watch and report, nothing more. He was not supposed to fight. He was just one man with one small ship. "Stupid mission," he muttered to himself. He was eating cold noodles from a metal cup. Human food was hard to find this far from Earth, so he had to make it last. 3 weeks of nothing, just empty space and broken dreams. His computer made a sound, put down his noodles and looked at the screen. There was a ship nearby, a big ship. It was not moving. "What do we have here?" he said quietly. He flew closer, staying hidden behind some asteroids. As he got nearer, he could see the ship clearly. It was a slaver ship. The Red Fang symbol was painted on its side. Red Fang were the worst slavers in the galaxy. They took anyone and sold them to the highest buyer. His hands became fists. He hated slavers. Every human hated slavers. Long ago, when humans first went to space, aliens had tried to make them slaves. Humans had fought back. They had won. They had promised that no human would ever be a slave again. And many humans believed that promise should cover everyone, not just humans. "I should report this," he said to himself. "That is my mission, report and leave." But then he saw something. The slaver ship was damaged. Smoke was coming from one side. They must have had an accident or a fight. They were not moving because they were broken. Thought for a long time. He knew what the smart thing to do was: call for help, wait for bigger ships, do not be a hero. But then he thought about the people inside those cages. People who were scared and alone. People who would be sold and hurt and broken if no one helped them. "Ah, damn it," he said. He started flying toward the slaver ship. "I always make bad choices." Getting inside was easier than he thought. The slavers were busy trying to fix their ship. They did not expect an attack from one small human, moved through the dark hallways like a shadow. He had done this many times before. He knew how to be quiet. He knew how to be deadly. He found 3 slavers in a room. They were laughing and drinking. They did not see him coming. 3 quick shots from his gun, 3 bodies on the floor, did not feel bad. These were not people. These were monsters who sold children. He kept moving. More slavers fell. Some tried to fight back. They were not fast enough. Was a soldier. He had trained his whole life for moments like this. Finally, he found the prison area. It was a big room filled with cages. Dozens of aliens were locked inside. When they saw, they moved back in fear. They had never seen a human before. Humans did not come to this part of space very often. "It is okay," said slowly. He put his gun away and raised his hands. "I am here to help. I am not going to hurt you." The aliens just stared at him. Some were crying. Some were too broken to cry anymore. Started opening the cages. One by one the prisoners came out. They were weak and thin. The slavers had not fed them well. Some could not even walk. "Thank you," an old alien said. His voice was rough from screaming. "Thank you, human." Just nodded. He did not need thanks. He was just doing what any good person should do. Then he heard a small sound, like a mouse. He turned and saw a tiny cage in the corner. Inside was a child, a little girl with pale blue skin and silver eyes. She was holding something in her small hands, a piece of cloth with a strange symbol on it. Walked over and knelt down. The little girl moved back, afraid. "Hey there," he said softly. He had never been good with children. He did not know what to say. "My name is, I am going to get you out of here, okay?" The little girl did not answer. She just looked at him with those big silver eyes. Broke the lock and opened the cage. The little girl did not move. She was too scared. "It is okay," he said again. "The bad people are gone. You are safe now." Slowly, very slowly, the little girl reached out her hand, took it gently. Her hand was so small, so cold. "What is your name?" he asked. "Lyra," she whispered. It was the first word she had spoken in months. Lyra repeated. "That is a pretty name. Do you have family, Lyra? Someone I can take you to?" Lyra's eyes filled with tears. "My mama," she said. "I want my mama." Felt something break inside his chest. He had seen a lot of sad things in his life, but there was nothing sadder than a child crying for her mother. "Okay," he said. He picked her up carefully. She was so light, too light. "We will find your mama, I promise." He carried her through the ship. The other freed prisoners followed him. They found more slavers along the way, killed them with one hand while holding Lyra with the other. He did not let her see. He covered her eyes and told her to think about happy things. When they finally reached his ship, there was a problem. The Iron Sparrow was too small. He could not take everyone. "There are escape pods on the slaver ship," the old alien said. "We can use those, but the child, she is too weak for the pods. The journey would kill her." Looked at Lyra. She had fallen asleep in his arms. Her breathing was soft and slow. She was holding the piece of cloth against her chest like it was the most important thing in the world. "I will take her in my ship," said. "The rest of you use the pods. Send a distress signal. Someone will come for you." "But where will you take her?" the old alien asked. Looked at the cloth in Lyra's hands. He could see the symbol more clearly now. It looked royal, important. "Wherever she needs to go," he said. "I made a promise." He carried Lyra to the Iron Sparrow. He made a small bed for her using his jacket and some blankets. She did not wake up. She just kept sleeping, finally safe after so many terrible days. Sat in his pilot's seat and started the engine. He did not know who this little girl was. He did not know where her home was. He only knew that she was alone and scared and needed help. And that was enough. "Okay, little one," he said quietly. "Let us find your mama." The Iron Sparrow flew into the stars, carrying a tired soldier and a broken princess toward a future neither of them could imagine. The first week was the hardest. Lyra would not talk. She would not eat. She just sat in the corner of the small ship and stared at nothing. Sometimes she cried. Sometimes she screamed in her sleep. The nightmares came every night like clockwork. Did not know what to do. He was a soldier. He knew how to fight. He knew how to kill. but he did not know how to fix a broken child. On the third day, he tried to give her food, human food. It was all he had, some dried meat and crackers. "You need to eat," he said. He put the food in front of her. "Please." Lyra looked at the food, then she looked at, her silver eyes were empty. "I want my mama," she said. "I know," said, "and we are going to find her, but you need to be strong. You need to eat so you can see your mama again." Lyra thought about this. Then slowly she picked up a cracker and took a small bite. It was a start. The days passed slowly on the Iron Sparrow, had figured out that Lyra was from the Empire. The symbol on her cloth was the royal seal of the Queen. That meant Lyra was not just any child. She was important, maybe even royalty. But the Empire was far away, very far, and the space between here and there was dangerous. Pirates lived in those areas, criminals, worse things. Could try to contact the directly, but his radio was weak, and if the wrong people heard his message, they would come for Lyra. Slavers would pay a lot of money for a royal child. No, the only safe way was to fly there himself, quietly, carefully. It would take weeks. "Okay, Lyra," he said one morning. "We have a long journey ahead, so let me tell you some rules. Rule 1, you eat when I tell you to eat. Rule 2, you sleep when I tell you to sleep. Rule 3, if I say hide, you hide, no questions, understand?" Lyra nodded slowly. "Good," said. Then for the first time he smiled a little. "Rule 4, I am a terrible cook, so please do not complain about the food." Lyra did not smile, but something changed in her eyes, just a tiny bit. As the days went on, things got better. Lyra started eating more. She started sleeping without screaming. She even started talking. "What is Earth like?" she asked one day. Was fixing a broken pipe. He stopped and thought about the question. "Earth is beautiful," he said. "It has blue water and green trees. The sky is blue in the day and black at night with millions of stars. We have animals called dogs. They are soft and they love you no matter what." "What is a dog?" Lyra asked. Pulled out his small screen and showed her a picture. It was an old picture of him and a brown dog with floppy ears. "That is," he said. "She was my dog when I was young. She died before I joined the army." Lyra looked at the picture. "She looks nice." "She was the nicest," said. "She never got angry, she never judged me, she just loved me." "I want a dog," Lyra said. Smiled, "Maybe one day, when you get home." Home, the word made Lyra quiet. She was thinking about her mother again, about her palace, about everything she had lost. "Do you think Mama is looking for me?" she asked. "Of course she is," said without any doubt. "Every mother looks for her child, that is what mothers do." "But what if she thinks I am dead?" Put down his tools. He walked over and sat next to Lyra. She was so small next to him. "Listen to me," he said. "Your mother loves you. I can tell because you love her so much. That kind of love does not give up. Even if everyone tells her you are gone, she will keep hopping. She will keep waiting, because that is what love does." Lyra's eyes filled with tears. "I miss her so much." Did something he had not done in many years. He put his arm around the little girl and let her cry on his shoulder. "I know," he said softly, "I know." After that day, something changed between them. Lyra started calling her guardian. It was an old word for someone who protects, pretended not to like it, but secretly it made him feel warm inside. He told her stories about Earth, about the oceans and the mountains, about cities with tall buildings that touched the clouds, about human history, the good parts and the bad parts, about how humans had struggled and fought and never given up. Lyra listened to everything. She loved the stories about human heroes, people who had saved others even when it was dangerous, people who had chosen to be good when being bad was easier. "Humans are strange," she said one night. They were flying through a beautiful area of space filled with colorful dust. "You are weak. You live short lives, but you never stop fighting." Laughed, "Yes, We are very stupid that way. No, Lyra said seriously. Not stupid, brave. Did not know what to say to that. The journey was not easy. Twice, they had to hide from pirate ships. Once, they almost ran out of fuel, had to make a dangerous stop at a smuggler's station to buy more. He left Lyra hidden in a secret compartment and told her not to move no matter what. "What if you do not come back?" she asked. Her voice was scared. "I will come back," he said. "I promise." He kept his promise. He always kept his promises. By the end of the second week, they were getting closer to space. Lyra was getting excited. She talked about her home all the time, about her room in the palace, about her toys, about her caretaker, Bora. "Bora is going to be so happy to see me," she said. Did not say anything. He remembered finding Lyra alone. He did not know what had happened to her caretaker, but he could guess. Some things were better left unsaid. On the 15th day, they reached the edge of space, stopped the ship and looked at the stars ahead. Somewhere in there was Lyra's home, her mother, her life. "We are almost there," he said. Lyra ran to the window. Her eyes were shining with hope. "I can see it. I can see the stars." Watched her. In these weeks she had changed. She had come back to life. She smiled again. She laughed again. She was still broken in some ways, but she was healing. And watching her heal had healed something in him too, something he thought was dead forever. "Guardian," Lyra said, turning to look at him. "Will you stay? After we get to my home, will you stay with me?" Felt a pain in his chest. He wanted to say yes. He wanted to stay with this brave little girl who had become so important to him. But he was a soldier. His life was war. He had no place in palaces. "We will see," he said. "Let us get you home first." Lyra nodded. She walked over and took his hand. "Thank you," she said, "for saving me, for everything." Squeezed her hand gently. "You saved yourself, Lyra. You stayed strong. You survived. I just gave you a ride." Lyra smiled. A real smile. The first real smile he had seen from her. "You are a good human, Guardian," she said. "The best human." Did not trust himself to speak, so he just nodded and turned back to the stars. The journey was almost over, but the hardest part was still ahead. He had to give her back. Queen Vila had stopped eating. She had stopped sleeping. She had stopped caring about anything except finding her daughter. 3 months had passed since the attack. 3 months of searching, 3 months of hopping, 3 months of nothing. Her advisors were worried. They gathered in the throne room every day, talking in quiet voices about the queen's health, about her mind, about the future of the empire. "She cannot go on like this," said Minister. She was an old woman with hair and tired eyes. "The empire needs a queen who can rule, not a ghost who wanders the halls at night." "What would you have us do?" asked Admiral. He looked just as tired as everyone else. "Tell her to give up. Tell her to forget her only child." "I would have her accept the truth," said coldly. "The princess is dead, or worse. Either way, she is not coming back. The sooner the queen accepts this, the sooner she can move on." "You speak of her daughter like she is a broken toy," said angrily. "Have you no heart?" "I have a duty," replied. "My heart is not important. The empire is important." Their argument was cut short by the doors opening. Queen Vila walked in. She looked terrible. Her blue skin had become pale and thin. Her silver eyes had lost their shine. She moved like she was carrying a heavy weight on her shoulders. "I heard you," she said quietly. "I hear everything you say about me." The advisors looked down in shame. No one spoke. Vila walked to her throne and sat down slowly. Every movement seemed to cost her energy. "You want me to hold a funeral," she said. "You want me to announce that my daughter is dead. You want me to give up." "Your Majesty," began. "We only want what is best for—" "I know what you want," Vila interrupted. Her voice was stronger now. "And I will not do it. My daughter is alive. I can feel her, in my heart, in my soul. A mother knows these things." My queen said gently, we have searched everywhere. We have spent more money than the treasury can afford. We have found nothing. At some point, we must face reality. Vila closed her eyes. Tears ran down her cheeks. When I was young, she said, my mother told me a story. She said that love is the strongest force in the universe, stronger than armies, stronger than death. She said that if you love someone truly, nothing can separate you forever. She opened her eyes. I love my daughter more than anything, more than my throne, more than my life, and I refuse to believe that she is gone. The room was silent. No one knew what to say. That night, Vila walked through the palace alone. She stopped at Lyra's room. Everything was exactly as her daughter had left it. The toys on the floor, the books on the shelf, the small bed with pink blankets. Vila sat on the bed and picked up a stuffed animal. It was a soft toy in the shape of a strange creature. Lyra had called it. She took it everywhere. Where are you, my baby? Vila whispered. Where are you? The stars outside, the window did not answer. The next day, something happened that changed everything. A young guard ran into the throne room. He was out of breath. His face was pale. My queen, he shouted, there is a ship coming toward our space. Vila sat up. What kind of ship? Is it an attack? No, your majesty, the guard said. It is small, very small, a human ship. Human? Vila frowned. Humans rarely came to space. They lived far away in a different part of the galaxy. What do they want? She asked. They sent a message, the guard said. He was shaking. Just one message, they said. He stopped. He looked like he might cry. Speak, Vila commanded. Her heart was beating fast. They said, I am bringing her home. The throne room exploded with noise. Advisors shouted questions. Guards ran around. But Queen Vila did not hear any of it. She just sat there, frozen. Her home. Show me the ship, she said quietly. The big screen on the wall turned on. It showed a small, ugly ship flying through space. It was damaged and old. It looked like it might fall apart at any moment, but it kept flying, steady and sure, toward the... Who is piloting it? Vila asked. We scanned the ship, said. He was looking at his screen with wide eyes. There are 2 people on board, 1 human, one child. Vila could not breathe. She gripped the arms of her throne so hard that her fingers turned white. Contact them, she said, now. The screen changed. A human face appeared. He was a young man with tired eyes and a scar on his cheek. He looked like he had not slept in days. This is Sergeant of the United Human Fleet, he said. I have Princess Lyra of the Empire. She is safe. She is healthy. I am requesting permission to land. Vila opened her mouth, but no words came out. She could not speak. She could not think. She could only feel a tidal wave of hope and fear and love crashing over her. Then a small face appeared next to the human. A little girl with pale blue skin and silver eyes. A little girl holding a torn piece of cloth with the royal seal on it. Mama, Lyra said. Her voice was small and scared. Mama, is that you? Lyra, Vila finally said. Tears were pouring down her face. Lyra, my baby, my baby. Mama, Lyra started crying too. Mama, I missed you so much. I am here, Vila said. Mama is here. Come home, baby, come home. The screen went dark as the transmission ended, but Vila did not move. She just sat there, crying and laughing at the same time. She is alive, she kept saying. She is alive, she is alive. The advisors were crying too. Even Minister, with her cold heart, had tears in her eyes. Admiral stepped forward. My queen, should we send an escort to bring the ship in safely? No, Vila said. She stood up suddenly. Energy had returned to her body. Her eyes were shining again. Prepare the throne room, prepare everything. My daughter is coming home. She turned to the screen where the small human ship had been. And make sure that human is treated like the most honored guest in history, she said. Because he just did what our entire empire could not do. He brought my daughter back to me. The palace came alive with activity. Servants ran everywhere. Decorations were put up. Food was prepared. For the first time in 3 months, there was joy in the air. Queen Vila walked to the great window and looked at the sky. Somewhere up there, a small, ugly ship was flying toward her, carrying her heart, carrying her life. "Thank you," she whispered to the stars, to the universe, to whatever power had answered her prayers. "Thank you." And far above, in that small, ugly ship, a tired human soldier and a brave little princess flew toward home together. Almost there, almost home. The Iron Sparrow landed softly in the royal hangar, looked out the window and could not believe his eyes. Hundreds of people were waiting outside, guards in shining armor, servants in beautiful clothes, and at the front, standing perfectly still, was a tall woman with deep blue skin and silver eyes. "Queen Vila." "Is that my mama?" Lyra asked. She was pressing her face against the window, just like she had done on the ship that was attacked so long ago. "Yes," said quietly, "that is your mother." Lyra started breathing fast. She was excited and scared at the same time. After everything she had been through, this moment still felt like a dream. "What if she does not recognize me?" Lyra asked. "What if she is angry that I was gone so long?" Knelt down so he could look into her eyes. "Lyra, listen to me. Your mother has been waiting for you every single day. She never gave up. She never stopped believing. The moment she sees you, she is going to be the happiest person in the whole galaxy." Lyra nodded slowly, but she still looked scared. Took her hand. "Do you want me to come with you?" "Please," Lyra whispered. "I am scared." "Okay," said. "We will go together, just like we have done everything else." He opened the ship door and stepped outside. The people gasped when they saw him. Many of them had never seen a human before. He was taller than them, with strange pink skin and dark hair. He looked tired and dirty from the long journey. But no one cared about him. All eyes turned to the small figure stepping out behind him. Princess Lyra. She was wearing the same torn dress from the day she was captured. Her hair was messy. She was thin and pale, but she was alive. She was home. "Lyra," Queen Vila screamed. She ran forward, pushing through the crowd of advisors and guards. All the royal rules about how a queen should act were forgotten. She was not a queen right now. She was a mother. Lyra saw her mother running toward her. All her fear disappeared. All her pain disappeared. There was only one thing left, one word. "Mama." Lyra ran. Her small legs carried her across the hangar floor. Tears were flying from her eyes. She ran faster than she had ever run in her life. They met in the middle. Vila fell to her knees and caught her daughter in her arms. She held her so tight, like she would never let go again. "Mama, I am back," Lyra cried into her mother's shoulder. "I am back, he saved me." Vila was crying too hard to speak. She just held her daughter and rocked back and forth. All the pain of the past 3 months poured out of her in great sobs, all the fear, all the loneliness, all the nights of wondering if she would ever see her child again. "My baby," she finally said. "My precious baby, you are here, you are really here." "I missed you so much," Lyra said. "I was so scared, but Guardian saved me. He took care of me. He brought me home." Vila looked up. Through her tears, she saw the human soldier standing by his ship. He was watching them with a strange expression on his face. He looked happy and sad at the same time. "You," Vila said, her voice was shaking, "you saved my daughter." Straightened his back. He was a soldier. He knew how to stand before royalty. "I did what anyone would do, Your Majesty," he said. "I found a child who needed help. I helped her." Vila stood up slowly, still holding Lyra's hand. She walked toward. The crowd moved back to give her room. "What anyone would do," Vila repeated. "My entire empire searched for her. Hundreds of ships, thousands of soldiers. For 3 months they found nothing. And you, one human in one small ship, you found her and brought her home." Did not know what to say. He was not used to this kind of attention. You crossed hostile space, Vila continued. You fought slavers alone. You took care of my daughter for weeks. You fed her your own food. You protected her with your own life. She stopped right in front of him. Do not tell me you did what anyone would do. You did what a hero would do. I am not a hero, Your Majesty, said quietly. I am just a soldier. Vila reached out and took his hands. Her hands were soft and warm. His were rough and covered in scars. You are wrong, she said. You are the greatest hero my people have ever known, and I will make sure the entire galaxy knows what you did. She turned to the crowd. Her voice became strong and clear. Today, I declare this human, Sergeant, to be a friend of the Empire. He will be honored in our histories. Songs will be written about him, and he will always, always be welcome in our home. The crowd cheered. The sound was so loud it made the walls shake. But was not looking at the crowd. He was looking at Lyra. She had let go of her mother's hand and run back to him. She wrapped her arms around his waist and held on tight. Thank you, Guardian, she said. Thank you for everything. Felt tears in his eyes. He had not cried in many years. He thought he had forgotten how. But this little girl, this brave princess, had reminded him. You are welcome, little one, he said softly. Vila watched them. She understood something important. This human had not just saved her daughter's body. He had saved her spirit too. The bond between them was real and deep. Sergeant, Vila said, my daughter called you guardian. She told me you protected her like a father would. Looked up, she is a good kid. She protected me too in her own way. Vila smiled. It was the first real smile she had shown in 3 months. Will you stay with us, she asked. Not as a guest, not as a soldier, but as family. Froze, he had not expected this. He was a human, a stranger from another part of the galaxy. He did not belong in palaces with queens and princesses. But then Lyra looked up at him. Her silver eyes were full of hope. Please stay, she whispered, please. Thought about his life, the wars, the fighting, the loneliness. He thought about how empty he had felt before he found Lyra, and how full he felt now. Maybe he did not belong here, but maybe that was okay. Maybe belonging was not about where you came from. Maybe it was about where you chose to be. Okay, he said, I will stay. Lyra cheered. She jumped up and caught her, lifting her onto his shoulders. She laughed, a pure, happy sound that filled the hangar. Queen Vila laughed too. She had her daughter back, and she had gained something else. A hero, a guardian, a friend. That night there was a great celebration in the palace. Music played, people danced, food and drinks were everywhere. The whole planet was celebrating the return of their princess. But the most important moment happened quietly, away from the crowds. In Lyra's room, Vila sat by her bed as she fell asleep. She was holding her stuffed animal, in one hand and finger in the other. She would not let go of you, Vila said softly, even in her sleep. She is strong, said, stronger than she knows. Because of you. Shook his head. No, she was always strong, I just helped her remember. Vila looked at this strange human, this simple soldier who had given everything to save a child he did not know. Why did you do it? She asked. Why did you risk your life for her? You could have left her, no one would have known. Was quiet for a long moment, then he spoke. Because humans believe that every life is precious, that every child deserves to be safe, that every mother deserves to hold her baby again. He looked at Lyra's sleeping face. I did it because it was right, and doing right is what makes us human. Vila felt tears in her eyes again. In one sentence, this man had explained why humanity was so special. Why, despite being small and weak and living such short lives, humans were respected across the galaxy. Because they cared, because they helped, because they never gave up. Thank you, Vila said, for everything. Smiled. It was a tired smile, but a real one. You are welcome, Your Majesty. Outside the window, the stars shone bright. Somewhere out there, the universe continued its endless dance. Wars were fought. Empires rose and fell. Great things happened and were forgotten. But in that small room, a mother had her daughter back. A soldier had found a home, and a little princess slept peacefully, dreaming of dogs and Earth and a guardian who had crossed the stars to save her. Some stories do not need to change the galaxy. Some stories just need to change the people in them. And that is exactly what this one did. The end.